Welcome to the Judith TV show. Form today's hottest celebrity relationship gist, secret romances exposed, shocking breakups shaking the internet, and couples everyone is talking about. Which gist do you believe? And which is just hype? Stay tuned for more. Welcome to the Judith TV show.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome to the Judith TV show. My name is Judith. Friends, let's talk about just a little about the CHIKE GATE. Is it the Frank Edoho, Sandra, and CHIKE GATE? The trio. It's all over the social media, so there's just nothing new. However, for people that do not know, Frank Edoho is a TV icon. He is the presenter of the popular Who Wants to Be a Millionaire program. And I think he also compares programs and everything as an MC and all that. And then he was married to a dark skinned lady who I think the first wife is a Cameroonian. Her name is Catherine, but he himself is from Cross River State in Nigeria. That's south part of Nigeria. He was married to Catherine. I don't know whether they had children. I think they do, but I'm not certain now. And then somewhere along the line, I don't know what happened. They went their separate ways. I think they got divorced. But Catherine has never come out to say anything about her husband or whatever that happened and all that. Same as a Frank. Somewhere along the people were that time say, how could they have, what could have happened for you to have, had issues with Catherine and everything, but two of them kept their cool or kept their quietness about the whole thing until we now heard that what is his name, Frank, remarried to Sandra. Sandra is from Abia State, southeast Nigeria. So we didn't hear much about them except for the fact that Frank has remarried, and the name of his new wife, that is the second wife now, is his second wife because Catherine is no longer there, as in because they have divorced. Okay, just to for clarity's sake, Sandra is the second woman here. He married, not that he's the second wife because he had already divorced Catherine, the first wife. So the latest we now heard about her involvement with a Chike the singer, that guy that sang running running to you, running with Simi, Adekunle Gold's wife. So people were actually disappointed that what is his name, Chike of all people, with all the women that will be coming his way and everything, young girls, married ones, and so on and so. Why would he now settle for somebody who is somebody's wife? And according to Frank, he said that the relationship spanned for like I don't know, for a year or something, But they started having their problems in 2024, and then they got divorced in the 20 no 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 I think 2022 or something, and they got divorced in 2024 or something, if I'm correct now. So I want to address this video to three of them that are the principal people in this whole saga. First of all, to Frank Edoho himself, to Sandra, his ex-wife, because they are divorced now too, and then to Chike, the man at the center of it all. So to Frank Edoho, I'd like to say to you, at your age, sir, what I mean by your age, it's not as if you're an old man, but as a matured and experienced person, and then and as an exposed person, because for you to be anchoring Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, exposes you to meet people, to travel and what have you. Now you couldn't make it with Catherine. I will not blame you because I don't know what happened. But for this Sandra, you told us that you put her through school. You even helped to establish a business for her. You had to take some lectures and all that, acquire the knowledge that she would need in running that business effectively. And then at the end of the day, unfortunately, now learned or discovered that she was having an affair with Chike the singer, to the extent that the first time you met Chike in your house with her on your matrimonial bed, that you fainted, but that Chike later apologized to you, and then you forgave him, and then I think that now led to the divorce or something. So, Uncle Frank, I'd like to point out one or two things for you. To you, first of all, you said you took this girl through school. That is your wife. I'm calling her girl because I don't know her age, whatever age she is. Okay, you took her through, but she's a girl to you. That's what I mean. Now, you took her through school and then helped her to set up a business and all that. You sponsored all that. So I don't know. You did all that because you love her. You did all that because you have regards for her. You value her as a wife. Okay, first of all, probably as a girlfriend before she now became your wife. But we now saw a video where you were hitting your chest and boasting that the best way to deal with a woman is to keep malice with her, that you can keep malice for a year. In fact, you can keep malice for the whole of Nigeria, for Africa. So when you keep malice with your wife like that, you can talk with your children, play with your children and your domestic staff and everything. But the very wife that you're married to, you will not talk to her and all that. I don't want to believe that that is part of what brought about the problem you had. Because if you're that kind of a person, that means it played out in your marriage or your union with your first wife, Catherine. Which means if you had done it when you were with Catherine and it didn't work, you guys ended up divorcing. You did it now and it didn't work. I just want to believe that you have learned your lessons. And then you use the word that I'm not comfortable with. You said to punish your wife. Why would you punish somebody that you love? Why would you punish somebody that you brought up to this level and that you now resort to punishing her for whatever reason whatsoever? If you feel that she has done something that is abominable that you cannot condone, what happens to divorcing her? Or you were afraid that people were going to laugh at you and say, you divorced the first one, you divorced this one again, probably that the problem is with you and all that. But when you know that, what you saw is not something you can condone, I expected you to go that route, okay? Even though you guys now later divorced, and then why did you now bring it up? I don't know what the reason why you brought it up. Somebody said that there's a game show you want to introduce, so you wanted to use this to introduce that game show. I said this is not a very good one, because the stigma is there. You guys have children that will grow up to hear all that, okay? So that if you had said you have forgiven both Chike and her, and you guys divorced and went your separate ways, you didn't react, you didn't act when you were supposed to act, when you caught her in the act, especially that time or that period or that day you said you caught her in bed with Chike on your matrimonial bed. You didn't react. Probably she apologized and you accepted and all that. And then only for you now to bring it up after you have divorced, divorced her and all, or after you guys are divorced is what I don't understand. You may think that it is hard that you're, rubbing down, but somewhere along the line you find out that also it will also have effect on you, negatively, something like that. So my own is that I don't know what happened that led you to now be saying that you keep malice and all that. When you are keeping malice with a wife that you have at home for that length of time, what do you expect her to do? What did you do to her that led to her going after Chike? Because she later now put a is it a rejoinder now I should call it, stating what happened, her own side of the story. That's where I said that one or two things didn't add up, because you are saying that you put her through school and that you put up a business for her, but she is saying that you are broke, that you don't have money, and that your mother was sick at a point, that she was the one that paid for her ticket to go to US for treatment, and that she stayed in her parents' house. And then what else did she say? That when she was pregnant for your second child with her, that you urged her to, take out the baby. There was so, and then yes, that then, you also cheating and all that, to the extent of mentioning the names of the ladies that you were involved with and everything. So if you are doing all that, okay, it's not all people or ladies that you can do all that and she just walk away quietly. It's not all that. Maybe this lady is not one of them. Everybody cannot be made doche that experience her own and worked out peacefully and all that. Maybe she's not that type, or just she just wanted somebody to console her and all that. Because there was this a chat between her and Chike, where she was even the person that was, encouraging Chike and all that. When Chike was now saying, "Let's end this," and she was like, "Okay, let's have the final crazy one and all that." So you find out that she went wild because you felt you were punishing her, not knowing that you were pushing her to the wall. So she now reacted the way she reacted. Maybe if you get involved with another lady for the third time, this should teach you a lesson that that's not the best way to go. It has always been the best thing to talk about your issues with your spouse, whatever thing it is. If you can't talk about it in the house, probably because of the children or your domestic staff, you can always take her out somewhere, or if she's the one that initiates the talk, then give her a listening ear. At the end of the day, you might find out that one or two things that is an issue can just be handled by mere communication, by mere talking about it. But by the time you now become a king of malice, as you call yourself, even spiritually, it is wrong to keep malice. Okay, so by the time you now become a king of malice, it's not every lady that can take that. There are ladies that you keep malice like that, they will even like it and keep malice. And once they will be able to pet you, maybe she'll go outside and be cheating. If she discovers that she's pregnant, then she'll come and start petting you, begging you, begging you. The moment you agree to that petting, sleep with her just once, then she'll tell you that she's pregnant. You won't know that it's not your child. So I don't know how you feel safe, playing this kind of a game with your wife. If it is a very dangerous one, you won't even know that she's having anything to do with Chike. She will just do it in such a way. Maybe this one decided for you to know. I'm not saying that what she did is right, but I'm telling you that this is what part of the things that contributed to that. So I think, Mr. Edoho, you should sit down, Frank Edoho, you should sit down and then ask yourself some important questions. Okay, whatever that happened with Catherine between you and Catherine happened between you and Sandra. Look in to see where the problem is coming from. I mean, from your angle now, so that if you meet the third person, because I want to believe that you end up remarrying her. If you meet the next person, you won't be able to. I mean, you will not repeat these same things that happen, so that you don't get the same result. Because it's only somebody who is not wise that will end up doing something the same time, all the time, and expect a different result. It doesn't happen like that most times. Okay, that's what I have for you, Mr. Frank. And then again, you said that Chike apologized to you at one point. There was a lady that there's a voice note. You were telling her what happened and everything. Said you were even threatening you are going to expose her and post more videos and everything. And then you were now telling, when you were narrating the thing to the lady, you were referring to Chike as a rat. You shouldn't refer to him as a rat. He's a human being, no matter what, right? Because if he's a rat, right, this is a rat that your wife chose over you that is an elephant. So it doesn't make meaning by calling her that name. Calling him names. If you know you were pained about it, you could have done something to him, not even to hurt him, or either take him to court or whatever, right? But you said also in that voice note that he apologized to you, either he said he wrote it or he called you or whatever, and that you forgave him. So if you forgave him, why did you not have to bring it out? And you already divorced with Sandra. So why did you not have to bring it out on social media? And you were even threatening that you're going to bring it. If you bring out more, you honestly it's yourself that you're dragging to the mud. And then forget about your children. Very soon I don't know their ages, but they will grow up to see this. Whatever year it will take them, number of years it will take them, they will grow up to see all this, and they will not be proud of you as a father. To be honest, you will try to convince them that this is what your mother did, that is not true, and then the woman will tell her own story. She will tell them her own story that will suit her. So at the end of the day, the whole thing will be messed up. So be man enough, if you allowed it that time and forgave, then let it be. I don't know all this one you're threatening that you're going to bring out more videos and all that. So that what will happen? If you bring it to online, so that what will happen? What have people been able to do for you now? Nothing, absolutely nothing, because you guys already divorced. Even though what happened before you got divorced. So I will urge you to let go, but talk to yourself, heal first of all, and then look inward to see where you are also making mistakes, so that the next person that you're going to meet, there won't be a repeat of such mistakes or errors. Okay, so to Sandra, the woman at the center of Sandra, the only problem I have in this whole thing is that you devalued yourself. Okay, what you said is different from what he said. He said he took you through school, even though you said that he is now broke, which means that time he was rich, he helped you, took you through school and everything, despite the fact that your parents are living in US and all that. So I don't know how your parents are in US and then it is now him that took you. Maybe he's the one that opted to, and then you decided to now pay him back this way. Sandra, I don't think you did well. The whole women might be clapping for you, those of them that are clapping for you. But I tell you the thing, the consequences, it's only you that will bear the consequences. Truth about the matter is that, like I said to him now, I don't know whether you see this video, there are women that value themselves, okay? By the time a man exceeds the boundaries of what you cannot take, you walk out. After all, you have two boys. Your business is doing so well. You walk out. Why would you have to, now be befriending a guy that is not married? And then you now bring him to your house, bring him to your matrimonial bed. There's another one that very dark man said that Chike was impersonating Mr. Edoho, that he will take you to a hotel. You will first of all check in. People will be telling, oh, Chike, Chike. Say, no, no, that's not me. That's a, no, no, that's a, he will cover his eyes and everything. Then when he now wants to go to your room, he'll write Mr. Edoho and everything. That's impersonation, If this guy had decided to take it out, honestly, you won't like it. And then think of your parents that, there in US, this kind of a shame that you're bringing on them. It's not fair now. And I tell you the truth, the earlier you are, the more you are dragging this thing, the more that, you're closing doors, over yourself. Because which man will now come after hearing all this and all that? Well, they may be, but all I'm saying is that, you should have been, you should have valued yourself the more to have walked away rather than cheating on him. You should have just walked away. He'll be living in regrets because he knows that what he did to you was wrong. That time he was keeping malice and everything, and you try to, talk to him and everything, and he refused. You should have just walked away. If you had walked away and filed for divorce and everything, he would ever be regretting it because, people will now be saying, how can you keep a malice with your wife for like a year or something? No, whatever thing that is a problem, you should have talked it over with her and everything. But now you have just messed up the whole thing. You should know that for a woman to do this kind of a thing, even before God, is an abomination. There are consequences. And what about your boys? By the time they are grown, to discover that their mother, Chike is popular now. If it's a guy that is not popular, a regular guy, it doesn't really matter. But this guy is popular. So by the time your boys will grow and now hear that, this is a guy that, was having an affair with my mother, while she was still married to my father and everything, how do you think your boys will clap for you? They are boys, so if it is girls, you will now say, okay, maybe they will get married someday and then, things will fizzle away. But these people are guys. At the end of the day, how would they clap for you? How would they welcome you? How would they be proud to call you their mother? Sandra, to be honest, you made a mistake. You should have just walked away, right? You should have just walked away. Now that your husband brought it up, it won't be out of order. I know that you guys are divorced. You can just send him a voice note or a letter or whatever of telling him that you're sorry. Tell your parents that you're sorry and all that, okay? Maybe by the time your boys will grow, you will be the one that will tell them that you made a mistake and all that, so that it will be easier for you. Because if not, you might say it doesn't matter, but it matters because your own has gone global. It has gone global. Some women might be clapping for you, but this is not the best. It is not just the best at all. You didn't value yourself as a lady, okay? And then you didn't pay this man back. If it is true that is the one that took you through school and then established that business for you and everything, no, you didn't pay him back well. And for you now to be so much in a hurry, so now say, okay, you did this for his mother, you paid for his ticket, you paid school fees and all that. If you know that that was important, you should have just walked away, so that you know that you are now on your own. You are the one that is taking care of your two boys. At least you have your peace. You have your dignity, you have your value as a woman, rather than staying in it, because that has nothing to do with sleeping with Chike. You have your own money, so it's not Chike that gave you the money for you to say, okay, he was not taking care of us financially, so this guy now gave me money. You have your own money, so there's no excuse whatsoever for what you did, except for the fact that you devalued yourself. That's the way I see it, okay? So having said that, then I talked to Chike, the man at the center of it all. Chike, see, people refuse to advance in life when they refuse to take advice. You see, this thing that happened, Chike, to be honest, it is an abomination. In fact, I saw a post, I don't know if it is true, it's not verified, where somebody was alleging that there's is there an influencing deal now that, should have earned you about $300,000, that they put it down. Then there's another one that, was already almost finalized. Those people are now saying you should hold on, you should hold on. I don't know if it is true. But even if it is not true, Chike, what you did is wrong. Every person, most people that have spoken about this, reasoning genuinely about this, have told you point blank that what you did is wrong. Forget about the women that are clapping for you. Oh, that if they want to do that, let them be the ones that will do it. Because what you did, you offended both divinity and both humanity. Okay, that man that is saying that you did that to his wife, and heaven bore witness that you did that. Chike, to be honest, there are consequences of such things. Of all the women, I saw a video that you made. Was it last year or last 2 years, where you were saying that you prefer ladies that are older than you? I think you're 33 now or something good. That you prefer ladies that are older than you because younger ladies, don't have anything reasonable to discuss. They don't have anything to offer. It's always buy me this and so on and so forth. So what now happened? There was no other older lady that you could be serious with rather than somebody's wife. And to make matters worse, what will make you to go with a married woman to her husband's house and sleep on the bed of the husband? Do you know what that kind of that high level defilement? Do you know what it means? And again, like I said, very dark man said that you were impersonating the man. When you now take, apparently, when the husband caught you at home, you guys now, it didn't even stop at that. You continued. You guys now shifted to the hotel, and then the hotel that you were in, you will now write your name that you are Mr. Edoho, which means what you were doing was intentional. It was intentional. Chike, to be honest, and see, you see this thing how you done. You see this thing how you have done. There are karma, there are consequences. Don't be like Blessing CEO that said there's no karma. I don't know what she's going through now, what she will call that one. There are karma for this kind of a thing. In fact, there are places that will be the moment you do this. Even that lady, Sandra, she will go gaga by now. And you that is a man, you will also go naked, walking around streets and everything. There are some traditions that are like that. I don't know, but I know that there are some traditions like that. Or what still, if the man is not a man that is able to control himself, Chike, by now, now your RIP now for the sea. Yes, there are some men that are like that cannot control it. You cannot even imagine it. I saw a video where one guy was saying that if you're that he was blaming Mr. Doho, that if he's a member of the confraternity or something, that Chike would have been no more by now. That if you were to be him, that he would have done something to you that even the hospital people will not be able to package you, as in the way he will pieces you and everything. So it's not every man that can take this. To be honest, you overdid things. Or however, if we blame you from now to tomorrow, what happened had happened. The only thing I'm saying, because Frank said that you apologized to him at one point, and then he forgave you. But the only thing is that for him to bring it up again, maybe the thing is still paining him. Do you understand? So if it will be possible, apologize to that guy. If it will be possible, put out a statement there, I don't know whether him privately or whichever way you want to do it, but somehow apologize to this man. Tell him that you're sorry. Tell him that you're sorry. Really, really, from the depth of your heart, apologize to this man. Do you understand? Because if you don't, the Bible says that if your foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? If you allow this thing to fly like this without tidying it up, by the time this thing will start hitting you, even your career will nosedive. You know the disadvantage, you will be singing the loveliest song in this world, but nobody will be hearing you. All the people that used to book you, I think mainly in weddings and what have you, nobody will now be booking, nobody will have regards for you anymore. You will be singing, singing and singing. Nobody will be hearing. Even when you put out the lyrics there, nobody will be interested. You will just know it's as a result of this. You might not know, but that will be as a result of this. So this thing has a way of like, it's like a disaster waiting to happen. But he has allowed you to do it, and then as if everything is okay now, before you know it, the thing will hit. For the ladies that are clapping for you, they should have been the ones that will do it, so that they will bear the consequences. Why are they pushing you and all that? Because it has not solved any problem. Men are still cheating, some women are still cheating. So it has not solved, even though I said this is not the best way to go. We have come to a level where in the society, people are just accepting anything that is wrong, making it as if it is not the right thing or the normal thing. It is not. Please don't be part of it. That's why I said, you see there, Mr. Frank, please apologize to that man. Deeply apologize to that man. If you know whoever is his best friend or whatever, still go back to him and apologize to him. Let that man forgive you. There's somebody that you can offend. If you tell them, okay, I've heard, but the thing no enter in mind. Let this one say it in such a way that you know that he enter in mind. Even if it's to cry or hit you or whatever, but let it go so that you know that you're free. If not, this thing, the consequences this thing will bring your way, you won't like it. You will not like it. You will just not like it, okay? That's all I want to say in this video, guys. For the three of them, that's what I want to say to them. What happened has happened. It's just to now make amends. That's the most important thing. And then the person that will make amends, first of all, is Chike, especially to Mr. Doho and even Sandra. despite the fact that they have divorced, because there are certain things you do today, the consequences will go and wait for you tomorrow. You think there's nothing will happen, nothing mega, like some people will tell you, but at the end of the day, something mega, and something very, very big mega. And at the end of the day, that mega will be on the person's head. So that's why I'm like, if it is possible, let them find a way to, like, appease this man, because the man is still hurting for him to still say it out now, after even being divorced from this lady, even though he also has his faults of this malice and whatever way he does his own. So let him, that's what I said to him, let him look inward and see the counsel he will give to himself, so that by the time he meet the next lady, instead of taking out the anger that this lady caused, he should love the person and then change from his ways. Otherwise, there's you can count the number of ladies that their husband will be keeping malice for over a year or something, and everything will be normal in that house. It's not done. It's not just not done. Friends, that's all I have to say in this video. Please, as usual, you should have comments. You should have your own opinion, okay? Share your thoughts with me at the comment section. Let's further the conversation there, okay? I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so very much for always watching my videos. God bless you all. Bye for now, friends.